Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of James Bond Bitcoin Live 00109 or 00109 hashtag space unicorns. Man, sorry about the late start. I had to restart my Google Hangouts. It told me it failed, but I'm back. I'm here. All right. Excellent. So, what are we going to talk about this episode? Let me go in the notes sections. I've changed my notes section a little bit. I'm going to talk. I'm going to list what I'm going to talk about first, and then do other things. Anyway, the notes section's partitioned a little bit better. So, in this episode, I'm going to talk about Bitfinex struggles with money withdrawal. Community observers predict MtGox scenario. Now, this has already been written for a while. Some people have already talked about it, but I think it's a hot topic right now, very hot topic. So I'm going to talk about it too. Here's another one. Super easy, simple Bitfinex Tether questions that Phil Potter will never answer. This is a Medium post by Bitfinex. I've actually talked about them before in my previous episodes, but it looks like people are starting to pay attention a little bit more. Here's another one. This is just a YouTube video. Phil Potter, CSO of Bitfinex, discusses Hack and BFX tokens. Another one is Bitfinex CSO Phil Potter gives first interview since 120,000 Bitcoin hack, August 2016. I think these are all on WhalePool. This is another one, a link to a YouTube video, WhalePool. CSO Bitfinex Phil Potter and WhalePool Bitcoin traders celebrate Bitfinex BFX Bitfinex token 100% payment. Now, I don't know if you all had a chance to listen to all those, but I sure did, because at that time, I was in Bitfinex. I was trading Bitfinex. But luckily for me, I was out of Bitfinex on that very large hack, the one that actually cost them the most money. Here's another one. Bitfinex CSO Phil Potter, PGP, discusses Bcash, Bitcoin Cash, Hack Audit, Spoofing, and EthFinex. Those are all videos to the WhalePool live stream that's been recorded. I suggest all of you, if you want to get a better idea of what's going on with Bitfinex and these Tether tokens, you should probably watch that channel or listen to those videos. And last, in the notes section, I have an article, Trustless Payment Startup Confido makes off with 375,000 of ICO funds. That's going to be interesting. That's from Bitcoin.com, by the way. And also in the notes section, I have a link to a game called Leap Frog, or Frog Leap Game, I should say, not Leapfrog. Excuse me. So Frog Leap Game, and the reason is I'm going to actually attempt in this episode, okay, to explain how Tether is created. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to explain how Tether is created. And not only am I going to explain how Tether is created, how much of a systemic risk is Tether to all of the crypto ecosystem. Ironically, it may be a good story for Bitcoin holders, because I still believe Bitcoin holders will actually benefit from all this Tether inflation. Basically, well, I'll get into it. Just stick around for the story. I'll get into it, okay? But hear me out. So I'm going to tell you how Tether is created, all right, and how you keep the books all in order, okay? This is going to be great. You're going to love this episode. All right, underneath all that, there's all the potential hard forks of Bitcoin. Bitcoin Silver. I have the "It's time to stop" meme. It's time to stop, people. It's time to stop making these inflationary currencies. That's what they basically are. Some people like to call them dividends. They're nothing but a waste of time. But since I'm a Bitcoin holder, I end up dealing with it anyway. Bitcoin Platinum, Bitcoin Uranium, Bitcoin Cash Plus, Bitcoin Classic, and then Segwit 2x, the fake Segwit 2x, because the real Segwit 2x died and couldn't activate. So this is the fake Segwit 2x with the Equihash algorithm, also known as Segwit 2x or BTX or BTC2. They don't know what to call themselves. And then Super Bitcoin and Bitcoin Diamond. They're all links to the respective websites. Some of them aren't secure websites, so watch out for that. And some are basically links to Bitcoin Talk forum, bitcointalk.org. And I list them, I list them there so you know how a scam coin gets started. And then last in that section, I have a list of airdrops. You can go check it out. That's from cryptocrete.com/airdrop. For all of those, for all you people who enjoy receiving money falling from the sky. All right, and then underneath that in notes section, I have some websites that are very useful, informative, and they also have tools to better educate you and be informed if you're going to be investing or trading or just want better knowledge of this whole cryptocurrency space. Segwit charts. There's a link to Segwit charts or Segwit adoption. Coin Codex. If you're tired of using Coin Market Cap and seeing BitConnect and all the other scam coins out there, or banner ads for BitConnect, you can use Coin Codex. Another one I like is Livecoin Watch. Another listing platform that you can use. I like that because it's live and it also has a 7-day average. And so you could tell whether you're up for a week or you're down for the week instead of just the 24 hours. CoinGecko is another listing platform. And what's unique about that platform is you can see there's an index for developer participation as well as community participation. Joho's mempool statistics. I like this. It's a website for the mempool, so you could see it more visual, more graphic, so you get a better idea. We'll check it out. It kind of spiked up a little bit, but it's down to the literally I think it's 10 to 20 or even to the 5 Satoshi per byte range. So it's eating up all the spam transactions. Salumi or Salum or Solume.io. That is also a listing platform. It does list the price, but what's different about this particular listing platform, is that it actually is a social, all right, it's a social media measurement. It measures the social media, specifically Reddit. So all the activity on the social media and Reddit, it actually gives it a ranking or percentage, a ranking and a percentage as far as social media. So a lot of these tokens, if not all of these tokens, are basically driven by social media or social engineering. And I'll get into that a little bit. And also in that portion of the notes is Transactions Accelerator. I don't think you need it. The mempool is very low. And then also Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash hash rate, historical 6 chart months, or historical chart for 6 months. So that link is bitinfo.com. Oh, I skipped over bitinfocharts.com. That's another listing platform. It's not so user friendly, but it has a lot of tools, and that's where I'm getting the hash rate, the block size, block time, average price, medium transaction fee, all that stuff. I don't know if I'll go over that. I've gone over it in my previous episodes, but you can check it out. And then, of course, I have underneath that, it's in the notes section. Can Bitcoin be replaced via multiple hard forks? James Bond interview by Crush the Street, published November 9th, interviewed November 7th. So, and then I have collecting your free Bitcoin Gold, BTG, coins with Coinami. That is a link to the support desk to Coinami, step-by-step directions on how to do it, whether you had Bitcoins before the hard fork, the snapshot on October 24th, or after the fact. You can import your recovery seed, either 12 word, 18, or 24 word, import it into your Coinami, and then split your Bitcoin Gold from your Bitcoin. Or you can actually just sweep your private keys. They give you directions for all three. And I did a video showing you how you can split your Bitcoin Gold from your Bitcoins. I actually had Bitcoins on Coinami. I learned from Bitcoin Cash to have some coins on there so I can make a video for those of you who aren't quite knowledgeable or very savvy and just want to see it done by someone else so you can do it yourself. It's actually very easy and very simple to use. And on top of that, you won't get your Bitcoin stolen because you control the private keys. And then have a link to Bitcoin Gold. Maybe you don't want to go there because you don't know what what links will take you to a scam website or a scam wallet, like my BTG wallet, my Bitcoin Gold wallet. That was a scam wallet. Okay, and underneath that is my typical, avoid BitConnect. If you are watching this and you saw an ad from Craig Grant or his mistress, Juliana, talking about BitConnect, you might want to read this article and the videos here. Why has ICO Index labeled BitConnect as an outright fraud? Notice regarding high yield coins on top of BitConnect. What is BitConnect and why have we decided to distance ourselves from it? And if you don't want to read, then you should watch my video, James Bond Bitcoin Live 0017, where I talk to 3 BitConnectors. I interview 3 BitConnectors. 2 of them rage quit. 1 of them was stupid enough to stick around and tell you where he could be found. And the 4th one was just a regular guest, not involved in BitConnect at all. And even he can figure out right away that BitConnect was a Ponzi. All right. And then, of course, the last part is I have a video. I have 2 videos. They're music videos. Let me see. The first one, their music video themes for this video. You should check them out. Space Unicorn by Perry Grip with lyrics. That's the first one, with lyrics, so you could sing along. The second one is actually the original by Perry Grip, Space Unicorn. So check those out. Play the songs while you're listening as you watch the price go up or go down. We'll talk about the price. I'll do I'll go over the mempool. I'll go over the fees, Bitcoin transaction fees. I'll go over the mempool, and I'll do a chart analysis towards the end of the video. And then I got hashtag yes2x number 76. I'm still labeling hashtag yes2x because there is an actual Segwit 2x hard fork. So I could still do these hashtag yes2x. I'll label them at least. So I guess in the end, I was right about hashtag yes2x. There was a fork, right? There was a fork of Segwit 2x. It did happen. So that's the meme you're looking at right now. And then what else do I have? Oh, yes, the link to Bitcoin Pot of Gold, the Pot of Gold. Please donate to the Pot of Gold. There's the the donational address is also there for you to copy and paste or whatever you need to do. It is a SegWit address, so please donate to the Pot of Gold. Let everyone have fun in trying to crack the code. I think it's just under $60. If I can get someone to donate enough to get it over $60, I can give out the 6th clue of the 6th word of the 24-word recovery seed. Or you could try to scan the encrypted private key and just guess the password. And all the Bitcoins are yours. All right, so let's go see who's in the chat. I got 21 Million Club. You were here first. Okay, you can claim that. Dual Overhead Camness, welcome back. Tomcat, it's been a while. Welcome to the live chat. And Crypto Cartel, what's cracking? Insurgency, good to have you. Yes, that is McAfee. That's McAfee. I try to get a young version of McAfee other than the current version of McAfee with his dyed hair. Obviously, everyone knows that guy's not blonde anymore. That guy has so many gray hair. He's like in his 70s. But I gave him a young body. Yes, I gave him a young body, as you can tell. Double D8209, good to see you. Bitcoin B. Oracle Man, welcome to the channel. The first time I've seen you here. Fud Machine, good to see you again. Let's see. Oh, Chase That Coin, how you doing? Chase That Coin made me a moderator for his channel, and he it's kind of funny because I'm probably the most trolly guy on YouTube in the crypto space, and he made me a moderator to kick out all the other trolls, which I'll probably never kick out any trolls. I won't censor anybody. But thank you for making me a moderator, Chase That Coin. Everyone should check out his channel, watch his videos. He does great crypto analysis on altcoins. And I might actually talk a little bit about altcoins. But I'll be talking a lot about Bitcoin today, a lot of drama. Let me see. 21 Million Club has a little announcement. He says, on January 2nd, 2018, we will get Bitcoin Cash plus fork. Wow. Is that on top of Bitcoin Plus? Wow, that's, yeah, more forks. Great. Wonderful. And then Buy Bitcoin, welcome to the channel. And QR Bro, good to see you. Pot of Gold won't be solved until the last clue. Well, maybe. That depends if you get the word. Remember, I'm just giving you the clue to the word. You got to still figure out the word. So, you know, there's a lot of ambiguity on those words there. So there's over 2,000 words. If you go to GitHub, if you go to the GitHub and look up the mnemonic seed, words for the mnemonic seed, there's over 2,000 listed words. Try to figure out that combination. All right, excellent. So let's get on with the show here. Let's go. Let's go. Let's talk about the meme here. Yesterday, for all of you who were here yesterday, if the price goes over 8,000, I wanted to go over more than 8,000, and it was 8,000 all day. It was literally 8,000 all day. It was up to almost $8,300. So I made this meme earlier today. I worked on it really hard, as you can tell. Like, this is probably the most work I've ever done on a meme. All right, getting a flying unicorn and a basically bare-chested man with McAfee's head over, I guess, I don't know if that's the moon or the earth. I'm not sure, but probably the moon. And then, of course, the background was the icing on the cake, getting all those blinky, sparkly stars. Man, that was hard, man. It wasn't that easy. I spent a lot of time, like, you know, trying to blend everything in, make it look awesome. I hope it looks good, and put a little Bitcoin stamp on it. So that is the meme today. All I can say is 8,000 but I wish it was 8,000. Last time I checked, it wasn't 8,000 anymore, and I think it has a lot to do with if you haven't already seen the video with Jimmy Song on Off the Chain. He had an interview with Bitfinex. It was kind of hard to watch because of the audio sound, but I've talked about that. I've talked about before Tether, but I'll go over Tether right now, and I will give you an idea of how tethers are being created, okay, and how the whole system works. Okay, I'm going to try to explain that. And the way it works is probably very similar to the way all these lending platform works. Tether, if it's done the way I think it's done, is literally you are creating tokens out of, I wouldn't say out of thin air. Someone is buying Tether. Okay, someone is buying Tether. I can tell you that. Like someone is buying BitConnect tokens. All right. Somebody is actually buying these things. Now with BitConnect, you're buying them with the Bitcoin. All right. But with Bitfinex, someone's buying Tether with cash, with money. Okay. I'm going to show you how. I'm going to try to explain it, and then I'm going to give you an idea of the systemic risk with all the other altcoins, but how this could be beneficial for Bitcoin if you're able to dump your tethers. So if you're on an exchange and you have tethers, dump your tethers, and don't dump them for all altcoins, okay? Because eventually you're gonna be forced to go back into Bitcoin if you want real money, okay? If you want like something of real value, everyone's gonna end up back into Bitcoin eventually. So I'll try to explain that to you. Did you say Tether got hacked? I don't know how true that story is. If Tether got hacked, Sam Sam Luxon says Tether got hacked. I don't know how true that is. That's must be really recent. I might have to look that up, but let's go on with the story here, okay? Oh, bright screen. Okay, here you go. Oh, Tether didn't get hacked. It got stolen from the Tether treasury. You know, isn't that convenient? Like, I really think there's a lot of bad actors out in who work for Bitfinex. There's somebody who is, and I'll get into it. I'll get into it a little bit later. But isn't it kind of weird that all of a sudden all the drama with Tether is happening, and then all of a sudden something's going on with the Tether coins here. That thing is way too centralized. Really, that many? 300 million US dollars worth. Wow. And three, 30 million, 30,950 and $10 of tethers, to be more exact. Craziness. Anyways, this is the Bitcoin pot of gold. The QR code on the left with the arrow pointing to the pot of gold is the donational address. Please donate. It is for everybody to try to crack the code. It's for fun. It's also a way to learn how to use a wallet, a Segwit wallet. If you actually have a Bitcoin wallet on you and you're watching on your computer, go ahead and scan that QR code, push send all, and high priority. Thank you very much. The QR code on the right is an encrypted private key. Feel free to try to scan and crack the password, and all the Bitcoins are yours right now. Otherwise, if you donate, I think there's just under $60. If you can donate enough to get it over $60, I can give out the clue to the sixth clue to the sixth word of the 24 recovery seed. And then I think I've already given out 5 clues already. You have to go back to the previous videos to get those clues if you want to keep track of the 24 mnemonic recovery backup seed. Anyways, the QR code on the bottom is that if you use a regular QR code reader, that will take you to Yellow Fever for You's channel. He's the one that gave me that idea. All right, so excellent plug-in for this. Oh, sorry for that long screen. All right, so this is an old story, of course. It's been a hot topic all week. I didn't want to really talk about it because I've already talked about it before. I mean, Brian was on my show. We talked about how tethers are being created and it's becoming a fractional reserve. Hey, Ken Bozak, how goes it? Good to see you here. And Flapping Plemis, how you doing? Yeah, good luck to everybody in cracking it. Although I think Brian will probably, I think Brian already knows what it is, and he's just waiting for everybody to sweeten the pot, you know? So now Bitfinex struggles with money withdrawal. Community observers predict MtGox scenario. It's kind of been, it's kind of one of those things that I've known about. I've talked about it. I've talked about it with Brian on this show. I brought it up on several occasions. I've trolled other people about this on their channels, but it never really gets talked about until recently. And I don't know why all of a sudden. Bitfinex has always been around. He's been on Reddit. He's been on forums. He's written mediums. Why now? Go figure. Anyways, we'll talk about it here. Let's see if I can scroll down, maybe get some good quotes out of here. Here you go. Before anyone tells me tethers are real money, let me point to Tether's own website. I keep getting this from people, and of course, if you read it right here, this part right here, it tells you tethers are not redeemable for money. And there's a lot of these Twitter quotes. Is Bitfinex the next MtGox? Sorta, similar. It's not quite. I think it's going to be a little different because I don't have anything on Bitfinex. All right. The first time they got hacked, they actually ate the cost, and it was only like $38,000. So they ate that cost. All right. And so the second time they got hacked, I actually literally, I think a week before, or maybe a couple days before, I took out all my Bitcoin. I took out all my Bitcoin. And at that time, the price of Bitcoin was maybe $500 to $700. Anyways, I took it out because I was so busy trading peer-to-peer. It wasn't really worth having my Bitcoins on Bitfinex because we're back in an uptrend. And when the prices were going down, when you trade peer-to-peer, if you had an exchange account, the first thing you did is you took your Bitcoin, loaded it to an exchange, and then you dumped it right away because the sense was the price was going down. And then as you had Bitcoin in your trading wallet, like in your wallet private key that you owned, for every amount of Bitcoin that you sold, you bought an equal amount on the exchange. And what ended up happening is that was how people basically arbitraged, right? So if you sold $1,000 of Bitcoin peer-to-peer, you typically bought $1,000 worth of Bitcoin on the exchange. The difference was you sold less Bitcoin and you bought more, but it was for the same amount, right? You sold $1,000, but you gave like 0.8, and then on the exchange you would buy $1,000 and get you would get like maybe 0.9 or something like that, and that's how you arbitraged. Hey, Yellow Fever for you. Good to see you in the chat room. And it's me, Boss Lady. It's been a while. Welcome back to the chat. And so that's kind of what happened during that time. I was trading so much at that time that the price was going up so much that it was no longer beneficial for me to take my Bitcoins onto the exchange for hedging purposes. So I just took all my Bitcoins out, and I don't know, I think it was a couple days or maybe a week after that, Bitfinex gets hacked. Yes, they get hacked using BitGo services. All right. And the weird thing about that hack if you didn't know about it. Matter of fact, I have the link in the notes section. Where is that link? Okay, Phil Potter, CSO of Bitfinex, discusses Bitfinex tokens, discusses hack and the Bitfinex tokens. If you go to that link, it goes to the WhalePool channel. They actually recorded that discussion. A lot of insightful information. And so, excuse me. So basically, where was I? Oh, the Bitfinex hack, the big one. All right. So basically, what happened then was, I think they issued a token. So how they got hacked was kind of so weird. The way they explained it, they set up all these security features so you couldn't get hacked. But then they had an override for all those security features, so you can override all of it, right? So they had one password to override all the security features that they put in place. And apparently, this idea that that was a this no one thought that that was a bad idea. Everyone overlooked it. It was kind of a weird explanation that Phil Potter he gave. Like they put up all these security features, and all of a sudden it was a really great idea to put in one kill switch that overrides all the security features to pull out the Bitcoin. So you could use this one password to override all the security features to send out the Bitcoin. And that's kind of what happened. And there's only two people who would know about that. One would be somebody on the BitGo side. The other is someone on the Bitfinex side. And it just seems kind of weird how the whole situation happened. It's just very strange. Anyways, is Bitfinex the next MtGox? Similar, but not quite. Almost there. Almost. I would say it's close. It seems close, just on the way the price acted today. But we'll see. Let me go on to the next one here. Okay, so here's Bitfinex Medium post here in his blog post. I guess you could say, go and check it out. That's also in the notes section. Super easy, simple Bitfinex Tether questions that Phil Potter will never answer. Well, let's see what they are real quick. What are they? Wow, there's quite a bit. There's quite a bit. I'm not going to go over all of these. I just wanted to show this. And I actually been following Bitfinex. You know, it is a concern. I do pay attention to things that are going to negatively affect my Bitcoin holdings. And this is one of them. But at the same time, the reason why the price has gone up, I believe, and the reason why your altcoins have gone up is because of these Tether tokens. All right. So these Tether tokens have helped propped up a lot of altcoins. A lot of altcoins. So it's not just Bitcoin, it's altcoin. And like I said, if you stick around, I'm going to show you how tethers are created, how they work through the system. All right. And they're created through Bitfinex, because Bitfinex and Tether are together. And when I first encountered Tether, they were a way, oddly enough, they were a way to actually fund your account without the use of a bank. Kinda. At the time, Bitfinex, you could still wire money to Bitfinex at the time when Tether was introduced. But basically, you had to provide like KYC, AML information to Tether. So there was no benefit for me when I'm just gonna provide that to Bitfinex and just wire, a wire to Bitfinex. And during that time, they went through several banks. They changed several banks at several different times. Hey, Richie Rich, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the chat. So at the time, there was no really need for Tether until they lost their banking. Bitfinex anyway. So at the time, I think I had Wells Fargo. I no longer have Wells Fargo, by the way. People. I try to warn people that if you trade Bitcoin, there's a really good chance that you're going to lose your bank account, and they don't believe me until they lose their bank account. Anyways, so it turns out Wells Fargo will no longer send or receive, especially received, any more wires from Bitfinex. And at that time, tethers were really being pushed, really being pushed. That happened after the hack and after the Bitfinex tokens were given to customers. So, anyways, a lot of strange things. Eventually, Tether and Bitfinex became one. They're one and the same, essentially. And I'm going to show you how tethers are being created in a way that is you wouldn't expect that they're being created this way. And that's why you see over $600 million worth of tether. And the fact that so many tethers are being created and why they're worth nothing. Okay, why they're worth nothing. If you have tethers or if you're on exchange and you're cashing out to cash, which you think is cash, but it's not, it's tethers, you should dump all those tethers right now. And if you were smart, you wouldn't buy any altcoin or anything. Maybe I take that back. Maybe Litecoin and maybe Ethereum, something that you can cash out to on Coinbase or GDAX or Bitstamp. I think Bitstamp trades Litecoin, and I'm not sure if they trade Ethereum. But something that you can cash out to at a different exchange that doesn't take Tether, but will actually cash you out in cash, right, in fiat. So Bitstamp, GDAX, Gemini. What else? Well, any exchange that doesn't take Tether. Okay, so Cryptopia is out of the picture. Bittrex may be out of the picture. I don't know if they actually send out any money. What else? Oh my God, I'll get to that later. So, anyways, read this Medium article. It's up to you to decide. I really do think tethers are worthless, and that's why I don't trade Tether. I trade peer-to-peer for real money, something physical. Right. All right. Okay. All right. So this is the puzzle I'm going to show you, and I'm going to allow you. I'm just going to show it. If you scroll down, there's a link to it in the notes section. It's called, what's it called? It's called Frog Leap Game. Okay. Now you have to scroll down. Have you ever tried this game? Okay. So here it is. Here's the game. It's a gift game. So you click on the frog. They jump. It jumps over, and then you try to get the green frogs, the male frogs, all three of them on this side. Well, you can't. So they have to jump over each other. So let me start again. So let's move this one. And the reason I'm showing you this, well, I got one female over, but the problem is I can't get the others over because you have to jump over. Anyways, I'll solve the puzzle at the end. Okay, I'll show you it is possible. And the reason why I'm showing you this is basically this is how you generate tethers. Is that crazy? This is how you generate tethers. You'll understand what I'm saying. It's possible to get all three of the female frogs on the right side over here to the left side, and all the male frogs over here, all three of them to this side. It is possible. Now, there is a display answer here. You could kind of cheat a little bit, but try doing it without it, and then you understand how tethers are created and how the cash is being used to move the money around and the bitcoins and all this stuff, and essentially you got an inflated tether creation here. So have some fun with that. Okay, so here is Tether. Okay, let me get. I'm going to get into how Tether is created. I'm going to first show you this, and so here's the scary part. There is a so there's $244 billion market cap. All right. The scary part is if everything about Tether is what I think it is. All right, that 244 billion market cap is, well, most of it anyway, may go into Bitcoin. Okay, now I'm going to explain why. All right, but if you look at how many Tether there is in supply or total, just look at the total supply. 674 million, almost 675 million tethers. All right, it's made on the Omni platform, which is MadeSafe. MadeSafe is a centralized service. All right, it is not decentralized. I think MadeSafe is out of Canada, and let me tell you, there's a lot of these payment companies that are out of Canada that take your money. All right, like, have you ever heard of Solid Pay Trust? That is such a scammy company. There is a lot of scammy companies that come out of Canada, believe it or not, that involve money transfers and everything. That's right. I'm Yellow Fever for you. I'm going to show everyone how frogs are created. Okay. And so there you go. That's a lot of tethers that have been created. And then if you look, I'm on CoinMarketCap. I'm just showing you a list. Look at the list and look at the volumes here. You could just look at the volumes in here. Just look at the volumes here and hit BTC, Bittrex, Huobi, Poloniex, Binance. What else? ZB.com. What other ones have tethers? Let's see. Poloniex, Huobi, Bittrex, ZB, Binance. And then I've never heard of Gate.io. Gate.io. By the way, Gate.io lost their bank account, just to let you know. So if you're trying to use Tether and get into Gate.io and then cash out to Gate.io or from Gate.io, they lost their bank account. There's a reason why these companies don't have bank accounts, like Poloniex, Cryptopia, Liqui, Kraken. Oh yeah, Kraken also has uses Tether. There's a reason why nobody cashes out, because you can't. I mean, you really can't. What was that? Coinut, OK Exchange, OKX. What else? Cryptopia, Exmo. I've never heard of that. Some of the, the liquidity is getting really, really small here now. So, but you can see it's all over the place. All right, KuCoin. What's another one? BitZ. I never heard of these things. Oh my gosh. But the liquidity is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I'm just trying to see if there's any open ledger DEX, if there really is one of these exchanges out there. But you're never gonna cash out. CSEX. You're never gonna cash out to really cash, to real hardcore money. You're never gonna do it. All right. Gate.io had a bank account. They no longer do. So there's a huge systemic risk. A huge systemic risk to the altcoins in particular. Okay, hear me out. All right, let me see what's next here. Okay, so this is Coin Codex. It's another one, another listing platform. So here's tethers right here, and again, Bittrex, Poloniex, Binance, Liqui, Kraken, Cryptopia, Exmo, KuCoin, CSEX, HitBit. So all of these take tethers. And most of these exchanges never cash you out, will never send you a wire to your bank. All right. So once you get into Tether, you never really get out. And yes, that's helped the price of Bitcoin. Yes, I think that helped the price of altcoins more than it helped the price of Bitcoin. Let me see what's next here. Oh, sorry for the bright screen. Oh, okay. That's another story. I'll get back to that later. Okay. So okay. So let's take a look at Tether. All right, Tether. So this is where I'm going to show you where Tethers come from. I hope you're all ready for this. At least this is my theory about Tether. Okay. This is just my theory about Tether. Whether this is really happening or not, I'm not sure, but this is my experience that I have trading peer-to-peer with Bitcoin, and the reason why you can make an infinite amount of money trading Bitcoin. All right, and this is the reason why banks cancel your bank account, because you can create an infinite amount of money. So I hope you're ready for this. Okay, here, let me scoot into the computer a little bit more, as I'm going to be doing this here. All right, so I'm going to try to explain it and to show how I think Bitfinex works with Tether, all right, and with Bitcoin. So, okay, let's say supposedly they have a bank or a trust. Okay, so I'm just going to put bank. Oop. So there's a bank right here, some kind of bank. Bank. Bank of America, bank whatever, or maybe a trust. Let me put trust here. So trust. All right, so there's a bank, there's a trust. And then let's say over here is Tether. I'm going to put Tether right here. Tether, okay. And then the Bitfinex. BFX, okay. So there's basically three structures here in this money scheme of creating Tether. So let's just say someone is able to send money, send cash. I don't know anybody that can. I believe Bitfinex has supposedly almost 500 million in the bank account supposedly. All right. So let's say they have 500 million in the bank account. Now, as there's a lot of things you can do with that, but let's just say I'm a regular customer. Okay, let's just say I'm a customer. For some reason, I'm able to deposit money into Bitfinex bank account or trust account or whatever. Okay, so let's use a nice number like 10 million. Okay, 10 million. So I give them $10 million, right? Eventually, they turn that into Tether, and I get $10 million worth of Tether. Okay, so I get $10 million worth of a Tether, right? I take the Tethers, right, and obviously they go to my Bitfinex account. And what am I going to buy? Well, let's just say I buy $10 million worth of Bitcoin. So I get $10 million worth of Bitcoin, BTC, right? And so what do I do with it there? Now, there's a couple things I can try to do, all right? But let's say I work out a deal. Let's say let's say I'm being nefarious and trying to manipulate the market, right? And Bitfinex may have a hidden over-the-counter market, or maybe I sell over the counter. Okay, I essentially, let's just say I sell over the counter, and I know some big buyers that want Bitcoin. So I buy $10 million worth of Bitcoin, and so I have $10 million, right? So I sell $10 million. right? Let's say OTC right here. OTC. Okay. It's basically going to go back to the bank anyway, but let's just say I take this and I sell 10 million OTC, and I make, I don't know, maybe I'll make 10.5 million out of it. OTC market, whatever, doesn't matter. That's how much I make. I make an extra like maybe $500,000 on $10 million worth of Bitcoin. Okay, so here, okay, are you ready for this? So I take this cash and I give Bitfinex $10 million again, right? But the 10 million, this original 10 million right here, this original 10 million that you see, well, that was moved around over here. And then I bought 10 million Bitcoins, and then I made extra money. Now, according to the bank's record, I put in $10 million. But did I? Because I got my $10 million, actually a little bit more, selling OTC. Now, here's the weird thing. I could have a deal with Bitfinex, and they could buy back the Bitcoins that I sold them over the OTC hidden markets. Who knows? I mean, there's nothing regulated about OTC markets, right? Where are Bitfinex really getting their coins? And are the users of Bitfinex really genuine users, or are they just perhaps investors of Bitfinex that buy from their own exchange, sell OTC market, and put the money back into the bank? All right, so I put in $10 million. Okay. And here's the thing is, this is the scary part, all right? If I'm an investor of Bitfinex, or maybe I have some affiliation with Bitfinex, the Bitfinex could buy back $10 million worth of Bitcoin that I just bought from them. Okay. So I'm going to give you a couple of scenarios here. Okay. So I buy 10 more million tethers. All right. I buy 10 more million tethers. And then I end up buying 10 more million Bitcoin just to do this again and to do this again. Excuse me. So I keep doing this and doing this, right? And either there's less and less Bitcoins on Bitfinex, which you can do that. I guess you can do that to a certain degree. But my point is, my tether, all of a sudden, is I'm getting 20 million tethers, all right, that are on the exchanges. So there's 20 million tethers that are on the exchanges. I never cashed it out. I cashed out the Bitcoin, all right, over the over-the-counter markets, took the money and put it back into the bank to get more tether. Now that's just if I'm just a regular trader. Now I want you to imagine. Let me excuse me. So let me get rid of this. Let me do this over again. Now I want you to imagine. That instead of me being a regular trader and doing over the counter, I want you to imagine that I'm now I have a relationship, either an investor or a shareholder in Bitfinex for some reason. And I not only do I have control of maybe the bank account or the trust. Let me draw this up again. Okay. I may have some control over the trust or the bank account since I'm a shareholder, or I have some involvement or affiliation with Bitfinex and Tether. Tether, and then BFX. I might be able to get a loan to myself, because when you own a company and you run a company, you could, believe it or not, you can loan money to anybody you want, technically. All right, you can loan money to your employees, you can loan money to the shareholders, right? And so I say, well, tell you what, I got 500 million in the bank. Why don't you loan me 1 million? But they don't really give me $1 million. I have a loan for 100 million because somehow I'm an investor, I'm a shareholder, I'm a partner in Bitfinex / Tether. So I get a loan from them. But instead of getting a loan for $1 million, I get a loan. They take out a loan for $1 million, so supposedly it's $1 million. Internally, it's just an IOU. To the bank, there's still $5 million in the bank. There is still $5 million. There's not, 5 million minus 100 million. There's $5 million still there. It's just an internal IOU. And I asked them, and they give me tethers. They give me 100 million tethers, which then I use to buy 100 million Bitcoin. Okay. And then for whatever reason, maybe I want to prop up Bitfinex after the hack. Maybe I want to make more money in fees. So I borrow $1 million to do these tether trades. And I get tethers, and I start trading away on Bitfinex exchange, and I end up with $1 million worth of Bitcoins that I eventually, okay, that I can actually pay back the company with, okay, $1 million in Bitcoin. So I pay the company back $1 million in Bitcoin with my loan, right? And maybe there's some fees involved in during the whole transactions and everything, but you're thinking about maybe, let's say it's 1%. Well, if you're a partner in this and this is the way you're going to make money on spoofing trades, right? You're spoofing trades, you're increasing liquidity, you're driving up the price of Bitcoin. Well, it doesn't really matter because the company's going to make money. So even if you yourself, as an individual, just did this, you would still make money through the company, okay? And so I pay back the Bitcoins, okay? So I pay back Bitcoins, 100 mil. So the Bitcoins go back to Tether, or the Bitcoins end up going back to Bitfinex, right? Because I paid off the loan, right? The tethers go back to Tether. $1 million tethers go back to Tether, right? And so all of a sudden, there's 1 million tether right there. And then what's happening is this loan goes away, and then I re-borrow the loan again. It's an internal loan. It's a loan. It's a company loan to their employees or to a shareholder. You could do that, believe it or not. You can do that. So after I pay back the company, Bitfinex, $1 million, I borrow the loan. I borrow another 100 million. Now remember, they still have 500 million showing in the books. Although now I borrowed 200 million, I rebuy into Tether again, another 100 million. I buy Bitcoin again, sell it back to the company, pay my loan back off. The Bitcoins, 100 million goes back to Bitcoin. and then another 100 million goes back to Tether, but I'm still going to have 100 million worth of Tether, okay, out in the wild. So what you have here is you have an infinite cycle of money and Bitcoin going back and forth. And each time it goes through that cycle, you're adding another 100 million, another 100 million, another 100 million. And you get, and I mean, it just goes on. Another 100 million, another 100 million. And all the while you're getting fees, you're driving up the price, you're getting commissions on the spoofy. You know, even though it may cost you money to do all this, like maybe 1%, maybe you're making 5% on the move of the price and on the fees. I don't know if that makes sense or not. So that's my theory on how this makes no sense. Oh, really? Well, how do you explain the Bitfinex tokens or the tethers that are just being created? This makes sense to me. So there's a couple of ways. If I somehow got money into Bitfinex and I bought up the coins, right? They give me Tether, and I bought up the coins, and I used Tether to buy up Bitcoins, and then sold them over the counter. Got money back into my bank and sent more money to their bank, and got more Tether. You can see the Tether never leaves the system. The Tether never leaves the system. Okay, that's just an individual trader. And you can see how tethers can become inflationary. So tethers are literally being created. Now, if you look at this, this is the same way how BitConnect tokens are being created. If you look at this, this is also the reason why banks don't like Bitcoin, because you can do the same thing using Bitcoin and I'll with your bank account and inflate your bank account. Let me, if you want me to show you, nope. Oh. Let me see here. How did I do this last time? Okay, so I'll just do this again here. This time it's going to be bank cash BTC. And so I should have done it the other way. So I get 10 Bitcoins, trade them to, what is the price? Let's say $8,000. $8,000. Take it to the bank, deposit $8,000. And then I just keep repeating the cycle. The only difference is I think instead of $8,000, actually I'm going to get a lot more, because you trade it on a premium. You're arbitraging on the difference. Let's see. Let's say 80. You get 8,400. You actually net. You net for. you net. So you start with 8,000. You get 10. You start with 8,000. You turn it into 10 Bitcoins, and then you get 84 in cash, because you're doing a peer-to-peer trade. Yeah, yeah. Buy Bitcoin, pretty much. That's what you're doing. And then you do it again. 84. You buy what, 10.2, and then you end up arbitraging, and you get 80. Probably 8,900, and then you just complete that cycle again, and you just keep doing it again and again, and then that's how you're inflating. That's how you're causing inflation in the bank. Inflation. You're inflating your bank account. You're literally inflating your bank account. Yeah, exactly. When people say you become your own bank when you own Bitcoin, what do you think they're talking about? You think all of a sudden you have cash in a storage file somewhere? You literally become your own bank. You literally can create your own money, and you become a central bank, and the bank becomes your bitch. And that's why banks will close your accounts, because they know you know the secret of money creation. Okay, and essentially this model is the same thing that BitConnect kind of uses, but instead of creating fiat currency, they create BitConnect tokens. All right, and instead of Bitfinex creating fiat currency, they're creating Tether. So that's what I think is going on here. I mean, take it for what you want to take it for what it's worth. So take it for what it's worth. I mean, if that's and I trade peer to peer, and I witness this. All right, and so it works. It literally works. You don't need anything. You don't need an altcoin. You don't need to trade on exchanges. You don't need to. You don't need to do BitConnect. BitConnect's a waste of your time. You receive the most amount of money. You create the most amount of money when you actually own Bitcoin. You can either create money and increase the value of Bitcoin, or you could let other people do this. Now, there are other people that are doing this right now. And if you just want to hold on to your Bitcoin and let them drive up the price, then my goodness, do it. Do it. Just hold on, let other people drive up the price. So anyways, that's how I think tethers are being created, and that's why you see, let's have a look at the charts real quick. So they're pegging the tether to $1, so it's like literally $1. It's only been floating here ever since they lost their bank account with Wells Fargo. Ever since they can't send out money to Wells Fargo. And why do you think the banks will not let Bitfinex have a bank account? Why do you think the banking system won't let Bitfinex wire out money to their customers? Because they are literally creating money themselves out of thin air. Okay, and the banks know that, and they don't want that to happen. They will not allow the users, the customers of Bitfinex, to create money out of thin air just like the banks do. All right, that's why Bitfinex is having such a hard time. So now they got to come out. Now they're doing this whole thing with Tether, and unfortunately, they're leaving you as a bag holder. So this was like right here. This is the $1 peg. It's only recently floating, but it's been pretty steady artificially by $1. What is this? This is one Tether. Okay, so the Tether value, the value of Tether has been going down, this yellow line, because its Bitcoin price has been going up. At the same time as Bitcoin price is going up, the creation of tethers have been going up ever since looks like right about here. It actually started right about here, but it started really picking up right after Wells Fargo would not allow them to cash out anymore. And now you're seeing this huge spike, this blue line, go up in 600 almost $700 million. And so that's what's going on. That's, if you ask me, that's what I think is going on. All right. And at some point, it's at the rate they're going, it's hard to keep that sustainable. I mean, you're looking at an inflation rate within 2 years of inflation of over from 0 to 700 million. That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit, especially this year alone. Especially this year alone. The inflation rate of Tether is high. So if you're wondering why your Bitcoins have gone up in value, if all these exchanges here, if all these exchanges are accepting Tether, and if you're trading on these exchanges, you're, I wouldn't say you're in jeopardy, but think about it. Tether inflates, the Bitcoin value goes up. Bitcoin is deflationary. There's only 21 million, but apparently you can make an infinite amount of Tether. They're essentially just like fiat currencies in a lot of ways, issued by central banks. And so the only difference is Bitfinex is either Bitfinex's customers or Bitfinex themselves are supplying the tethers, right? They're making the tethers. And so more tethers there are, the higher the price of Bitcoin. I think there's a strong correlation to that. So anyways, how is this going to affect you if you're trading on the exchanges? All right. So I think this is great for Bitcoin. Let me see here. The reason I say it's great, it's kind of good and bad. There's the systemic risk is that all these exchanges, or let me see here, all these exchanges, Bittrex, Poloniex, Binance, Liqui, Kraken, Cryptopia, Exmo, KuCoin, CSEX, HBit, or HitBit TC. There are a couple things. When people realize that tethers are not worth a damn, and the only way to preserve their wealth is to buy a coin that is worth a damn. I mean, if you go to an altcoin, which you can buy you can buy altcoins, but eventually, if you really want to cash out, there's only 3 coins right now that will cash you out. And let me see if I can. Let me see if. Let's see here. What exchanges are going to be doing that? Hold on, let me go to Coin Codex. I'm going to look up Bitcoin exchanges because they're going to be the most liquid. Because Bitcoin, you can trade peer-to-peer and get cash for them. So they're worth more than any Litecoin or Ethereum, in my opinion. They're worth way more because I can take Bitcoin from anybody, from anywhere, and I can actually cash out and use the Bitcoin, right? You can use, supposedly you can load them on credit cards, which I think is stupid. Why would anybody get a credit card for your Bitcoin? That's dumb. Overview, exchanges. All right, so, okay. Okay, GDAX does not take Tether because they will actually cash you out. Bitstamp doesn't take Tether because they will actually cash you out. Gemini does not take Tether because they will actually cash you out. All these other ones probably don't cash you out at all. Coinbase is another one. They will actually cash you out if they don't close your account. Some people are getting their accounts closed. So there are banks out there, or exchanges that will cash you out. Patrick, how you doing? No, you know, okay, so Bitfinex is different than MtGox. Like MtGox had their Bitcoins stolen. All right, they didn't have the Bitcoins. Bitfinex, they obviously have Bitcoins. The only thing in common is that uh, MtGox and Bitfinex had banking relations shut down. All right, and they both seem to exist. The only difference is MtGox didn't have another token to inflate as currency, right? They just had to deal with it. They were literally fractional reserve Bitcoining. They had fractional amounts of Bitcoin that they were fractional reserve Bitcoining, I should say. Tether and Bitfinex, what's going to make them last, and they could go on for a very long time, people. They can go for a very, very long time. They could do this much longer. What I think Bitfinex is doing is they are fractional reserving tethers, okay? And they can do that for a long time, just like BitConnect, how they're literally creating more and more BitConnect tokens based upon how much Bitcoin they're getting. How many more Bitcoin can they get in? Then the more Bitcoin they can get in, the more they can create BitConnect tokens to loan out. Now, if you look at the model of Bitfinex, they're essentially doing something very similar. All right, they're doing something similar. They are fractional reserving or creating, I should say, they're inflating tethers. They're creating tethers out of thin air, and essentially, they can go on forever. Long as the price keeps going up, people will send their Bitcoin to Bitfinex. Okay, the only thing Bitfinex has to worry about is the run on the exchange. Okay, they have to worry about people trying to buy up all the Bitcoin on the exchange, because once that happens, then they're pretty much essentially bankrupt. They have no Bitcoin to create more tethers. So that's the difference between MtGox and Bitfinex. So technically, Bitfinex can go on for a while. They can go on for a long while before, as long as the price of Bitcoin continues to go up or stay high, as long as people are willing to trade on Bitfinex. Now, there is systemic risk because all those tethers are being created from Tether and Bitfinex, and then it's trickling its way towards the other exchanges. Okay, it's let me see here. So like hit BTC, Bittrex, Poloniex, Binance, Poloniex, I already said that. Whatever, I think Cryptopia, all these other exchanges that don't do any fiat currency, right? They don't send or receive any fiat currency. Those are the exchanges that are at risk because they're left, at least their users are left holding the bag, right? And all the other altcoins that are on that exchange, they're essentially worthless. The only thing that's been pumping up the price of these altcoins has been these Tether tokens that have been inflating both Bitcoin and the altcoin market. And so once that dries up, like once people realize this is dangerous, okay? I don't buy any altcoins, by the way. Okay, just to let you know. I don't own any tethers. I have two things. I have Bitcoin and I have cash, and I buy Bitcoins with cash. All right, and let me tell you, there's a lot of people who are willing to buy Bitcoins and sell me their Bitcoins for cash. All right, so the systemic risk is that these, at least the customers of these exchanges, you're left literally holding the bag because either there's too many tethers and not enough Bitcoin. So when people realize, when people try to exit, right, and everybody's exiting through one exit, which is through Bitcoin, I can imagine all the Bitcoins being gone out of that exchange. I think that's also the reason why Bitfinex needs to support every hard fork. Bitfinex will support every hard fork. The reason is, and they'll allow trading as well. And there's two reasons. Because if they don't support a hard fork, people will take their Bitcoins and go to an exchange that will support a hard fork or fork of Bitcoin. All right. Second reason is the more coins that they have on the exchange, the more money they will make on the trading. The more money they'll make on the trading. So the risk of Bitfinex is they'll get a run on the exchange. They will literally, there's too much Tether, okay, and not enough Bitcoin. And that's why you see the price of Bitcoin going up so high, because literally there is not enough Bitcoin to support all the Tether that has been created, that's basically been inflated. FUD Machine, you're asking me about Flashcoin? What about it? It was an airdrop that I got for signing up in the Slack room for Coinami, and then the Flash Slack room. I don't even use it. There's no place to exchange it. It just has a value. I don't even know where it is. Let me see. Flashcoin. There it is. Let's see where it's exchanged. I don't know if it's gone up or down. I don't even pay attention to it anymore. Let me see here. I don't even know how much in supply there is. It hasn't done much, has it? It's actually gone down in value in terms of Bitcoin. I'm losing Bitcoin just holding on to this. Okay, Flashcoin is only available on Craftopia, and it's a volume. 99% of the volume is on Craftopia for Flash to Bitcoin. 1,182 in the last 24 hours. So there you go. That's what Flashcoin was, just a way to test out an airdrop, participate in, in the Slack with Coinami and all that. That's all it was. I don't even know what to do with it. It's just there in my Coinami wallet. So anyways, that's what I think is going on with Bitfinex. Okay, so now let me go on to this story here. Okay, so if you had a chance to hear my interview on Crush the Street, let me see, what was it? It was can Bitcoin be replaced via multiple hard forks? James Bond interview, Crush the Street, published November 9th, interviewed November 7th. I have that in the notes section. If you had a chance to watch that, I mentioned that there's going to be basically two types of ICOs: exit ICOs and charity ICOs. Well, this is an exit ICO, okay? Trustless payment startup Confido makes off with 375,000 of ICO funds. So here's an example of an exit ICO, and I think you're going to see a lot of it. You're going to see more of it, because there's no point in doing any of these projects, because they're pointless. They have no purpose, and the reason why people participate in them is the sole purpose to sell to the greater fool. That's all it is. And a lot of people are too greedy, and they're going to fall for this. And so if you see here, what's it say here? They stole 1,235 Ethereum for a total of $375,000. And so let's see here. Right here. Confido takes away the trust barrier in exchanges involving cryptocurrencies while also staying decentralized and trustless. That was their pitch. They did have a WhatsApp registration to a Joost van Doorn. Apparently, this was the picture of Jos von Doren, but I suspect that this is not even a real picture, that these people were not even real. These are just pictures grabbed off the internet. Hey, Ghost Money, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. There's a lot of ironies in this. A lot of ironies. Oh my goodness. Anyways, there's a chart right there of the price of Confido. As you can see, it's dropped to nothing. People are waking up to the news, and it's really, really sad. People on Reddit are talking about it. Some people may have to do a suicide hotline here. There is a silver lining, a small silver lining. It says here, there remains a slim chance of a happy ending to this story. Token Lot, who had promoted Confido sell on their site, reportedly issued the following information after the exit scam came to light. It says, we have reviewed all previous emails and conversations and tried to find any clues that might lead us to the actual people behind the scam. Fortunately, we have stumbled across one very positive lead. Blockchain analysis shows that the ETH that was collected and transferred to Confido ended up being sent to an account with Bittrex. There's a transaction ID over there. We have been in contact with Bittrex management, and they have confirmed that the account the ETH was sent to is an account where enhanced KYC verification was authenticated. This means that we have an opportunity to put a real name behind the Bittrex account. Additionally, we are also in contact with KuCoin and gathered all the intel we have for Jost and the possible team behind Confido or Confido. Unfortunately, Bittrex's privacy policy requires a law enforcement request to release customer information, so we can't get any more information at the moment. We are currently in the progress of filing a report with the FBI to help rectify the situation. The Token Lot team. Now, that's very admirable of them, but unfortunately, we don't really know if the ETH that was sent has anything to do with Confido. That could have been that could have been a payment that could have been sent to, I don't know, anybody. A payment. It could have been a payment to someone who helped them build the website, right? We don't know, but at least it's a lead to a lead to a lead to a lead to a lead. Sometimes finding the suspects or perpetrators in this situation is very hard, very hard. In reality, there may be no one to find, but if they do find someone, a trail leads to somewhere eventually. Here's another quote. Wait a second, is this real? I'm reading a quote here of a poster, a user who invested into Confido. Wait a second, is this real? I woke up not too long ago and I'm down over $54,000 on my investment in CFD Confido. I bought in with almost everything I had when it was 94 cents. What is happening? I am seeing rumors that developers did an exit scam. Is this true? Does anyone know why their website is down? I'm not getting any response from email or anything. I feel really effing sick. Can someone tell me, please, what is happening? This is sick, hardening. This is really bad. Anyway, here's the pictures of the Confido team, which is probably not even them. There's their names, which is again probably not even them. So please do not look up these people's names and try to do any harm to them. Most likely, these aren't even their real names or their real pictures. And here, I want to read this little portion right here. It says, CoinMarketCap is running a trio of ads for projects which are dubious at best and fraudulent at worst. BitC or BitC, Renaissance, and BitConnect all promise guaranteed returns, which should be an instant warning sign. As the Confido case shows, however, it doesn't require unrealistic claims to hook investors. All it takes is a plausible sounding ICO with a modest hard cap. There we go. So watch out, everybody. When you invest in these ICOs now, there's basically only going to be two types of ICOs at this point. The charity ICO and the exit ICO. And what you're seeing is the exit ICO as an example, and you will lose all your money. So be careful out there. All right, so now I'm going to go into the fees. Okay, I'm going to talk about something else. I'm going to go into the fees. Bitcoin fees.earn. I'll go into the fees here. It looks like 40 Satoshis per byte. Will probably get you in. I did a transaction today, and I put I used like 140 because it was a trade. I just needed to get in. At the time, this is saying what 270 Satoshis per byte as the average. That's overpriced, just to let you know, because 270 per byte is right about here. But you can probably be under 150 and over 40 Satoshis per byte, and you'll get your transactions to go through. Because I did do a transaction, but I wanted, at the time it was like estimated 300 Satoshis per byte. But I did a little bit less. I did 140 Satoshis per byte. I did half what the recommended was on bitcoinfees.earn.com. Okay, this is Joho's mempool statistics, 24 hours on Bitcoin. And ouch, it has grown. There was a small little dip right here. I don't know what happened to it. I think that's a mistake or something. Yeah, that's got to be a mistake. It can't be nothing all of a sudden. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the mempool right now, wow. The mempool right now, most of it consists of 20 to 30 Satoshis per byte, as you can see right here at this point right there. And so that's good. That's actually back to normal. It has eaten a lot of the 5 to 10 Satoshis per byte, as you can see right here. It's eaten really a lot of it. It's nothing. The only thing that's left are basically the spam transactions, which are mostly 0 to 5 Satoshis per byte, probably mostly 0 fees. Those are just going to stay there until they drop. Let's go to trade. Let me see, Bitcoin, trade block. Let's go to trade block. Just waiting for all this to load here. All right, so there has been a spike in. There's been a little spike in the transaction here. I doubt because of any spamming. I think it has a lot to do with tethers. I think tethers is a big concern. The price is back up to 8,000, everyone. We're back up to 8,000. Let's celebrate. So there's 16,000 transactions in the mempool right now. All right, so let's see what's. Let's go to coinwisdom.com on the Bitstamp price chart. All right, we're back to 8,000. We're back to 8,000, everyone. So my meme, my 8,000 meme, it's good. My 8,000 meme is good, everybody. Whew. I was a little worried about this. I made this meme earlier in the day, just wondering if it was ever going to be 8,000 when I get back do a live stream here. But we're back to 8,000. All right, let's do a chart analysis. All right, let's just go back. I'm going to go back to 2013 and draw my top trend line. Back in 2013, if you made this your trend line for the future, you probably would have never believed that it would actually hit this trend line. You never would believe it. Okay, so there we go. We're back to 8,000 and almost 100. Almost there. Almost just need another dollar to push it. Come on. Oh, man. Oh, well. Maybe it'll be 8,100 when I finish this live stream. So I'm just putting my support lines. And let me go to 1 hour. Take a look at what's going on. Wow. Okay. So, all right, 8,100. We're back to 8,100. No problem. I'm telling you, even if Tether was an issue, which I don't think it is, it's basically going to help Bitcoin, because when people realize that tethers aren't worth a damn, I mean, there's so much Tether out there that if people wanted to get out of and dump, if you have Tether, please dump Tether and buy Bitcoin, okay? And then pull your Bitcoin out of the exchange, because if the risk is dumped right onto the exchange, then there's a couple things that are going to happen. The exchanges are going to take the hit. All right, the exchanges will take the hit, and basically what's going to happen is, I think what's going to happen is they either have to socialize the loss because their tethers are not redeemable anywhere. Not even Tether, the company, will redeem them. All right, so you don't want to be holding your bag of tethers. So your only option is to buy into altcoins. And basically what's going to happen, I mean, even the exchanges, they may still survive. The only company that's going to die is Tether as a company. So the Tether, the company, will go bankrupt. Bitfinex will probably, I mean, they could still survive. I mean, they just have to spin off their Tether portion of their company, or just file for bankruptcy on their Tether portion of the company. Bitfinex just won't get paid, or if they do get paid, you know, maybe they won't get paid, but they won't lose any more than what they put in, which is probably nothing. All the other exchanges, well, the only thing will happen with Tether is they'll just go to zero. Everybody else will only the foolish and the uninformed investor will receive the brunt of Tether. So if you're holding on to Tether, please dump your Tether for Bitcoin or Litecoin, or I hate to say it, even Ethereum, something that some other coin that is worth real money, has real value. So you should do that right away. So let's see here. I'm going to do a chart analysis on the 1 hour. It's going to be hard to do a chart analysis on an hour. It's real hard to do a chart analysis on an hour, but I'll try. All right, so let's take a look at this. A couple scenarios here, how it can happen. Well, that was a nice little flash crash. We had 2 hours, the price to go down, and then almost looks like 3 hours. 3 hours here, going on to the third hour. Price bouncing back up. So there's really not much I can do on the hourly. It's just hard to read. It's just so much price movement. But the fact that a higher high was made right here from the previous high on a technical level, and you can see the price even going back higher than the previous high, which was around 8100. So that's pretty good. That's actually not bad considering some of the news that came out. So if it just other than the fear and the uncertainty of Tether, which even if everything about Tether is true, it can take a long time before Tether collapses. Really, it can. The only fear, the only risk is a run on the exchange, which there are too many uninformed. There really are too many uninformed investors out there and uninformed speculators to really act on, to act on this information. They just don't know, and they never will know. That's the reality of it. Matter of fact, let me show you something here. I'm going to go to this listing site, but it shows the social media volume. It shows the social media volume, and we'll take a look at Tether. And let's see here. Okay, so Tether on the social media volume, right? Oops, right here, it's going up because a lot of people are probably talking about it on Reddit. Bitcoin Cash, for some reason, there's a lot of talk on Bitcoin Cash. I've been watching this site here. It's called Solume or Solum.io. Social media analyzed and compared to price. And what I've noticed is what I've noticed is that whenever there's the social volume and it changes or increases, and the price also increases, it's most likely a pump. And a lot of these coins have no value whatsoever. They don't produce anything. They're not like a company, and they don't make anything. They don't do anything. It's just pure speculation. All right. And it's just a matter of how much you believe the price is going to go up or the price is going to go down. And how do you control that? Well, you control that with social media, with news announcements, right? It's tools of the internet. That's all it is. So when you see social volume change, look at the price of it and see what's happening, and you could tell if it's a pump or dump. Like, look at this, Potcoin. it's gone up tremendously out of nowhere. 3,300% increase in social volume. So it's being talked about a lot, all right, over the internet, and it's gone up in price by 7%. So things like these, this is a pump. It's an obvious pump. There's nothing really behind Potcoin. Maybe you can use it to buy pot. Supposedly that's why it's called Potcoin. Other than that, it's just social engineering. That's it. Walton Coin's another one. Although when I see a negative price, I'm assuming there's a lot of negative social volume going on. Something's wrong with Walton Coin. D notes. When I see the price go up and a social volume increase, it's being pumped. So some things are being dumped, other things are being pumped. What is this? VeChain. Looks like that one's being dumped right now. Next has gone up with the price going up as well. NXT. So this stuff really helps. I think a lot of the price movements of these altcoins are based on nothing more than social media. That's it. Just news, announcements. You want me to scroll up to Bitcoin real quick? Here, I'll even click on it. Looks like there's some uptick. This is a 7-day. And most of the information, most of the social volume comes from Reddit. Our Bitcoin mods remove top posts. The rich don't need Bitcoin, the poor do. Let me see if what else does it say? Any other comments? Nope. That's the most upvoted thing here. Here's another one. Saw a post asking Thamos where they donated the 6,900 Bitcoin is disappear before my very eyes. I am now convinced there is obvious censorship and manipulation in our Bitcoin. Thanks for opening my eyes, guys. Let me see this. Ethereum, currently hundreds of times faster and cheaper than Bitcoin. And then you could actually read the post that has the most upvotes to it. Ethereum is now processing twice the daily transaction of Bitcoin at 1/100th of a cost. Transactions are also 100 times faster on average, and twice as much money is moving through the network. Now I love Bitcoin, and I have been into it since 2012. But if Bitcoin wants to be more than a store of value, the community needs to reach consensus on how best to scale, and also encourage widespread adoption of Segwit. Love to hear your thoughts. So you kind of get the a social volume here on this. Anyways, let's go back to the chart analysis. All right, so that's on the 1 hour here. Let's go to 12. And on the 12, it looked kind of really scary. We'll have to see in the next 12 hours, but this is a red candlestick. I don't like the long wick, the tail. Usually wicks point to the direction. If it's a red candle or a green candle, if it's a green candle with with a wick on top, that's usually for me when I see wicks pointing to the top on a green candle, that means upward pressure. When I see red wicks, red candles with red wicks with even though this is a pretty big tail, just a wick that pointed down tells me that there's downward pressure. That's just on the 12-hour. But the price right now is above the average, this weighted average, and it is above the other average, the long-term average. So it's still trending upwards. Still trending upwards. That's all I can say. That's on the 12-hour. All right, on the 1 day, you can see the candle, the wick stopped right here at the moving average. You can see right there. So it might have been just a correction, as all I can say is it could have been just a temporary correction that coincided with the news of Tether. That's about it. And you can see there's some other, so there's some supports here at 774.28. Another support right at this moving average as well. And this is the upper trend line. This is the upper trend line that's moving. And that's at 69.10. Of course, you got your 5,500 and your 5,000 as support areas. And then on the 3-day, well, on the 3-day, this thing still looks pretty damn good. It is just moving up. 3 days is probably the best time frame to look at on the chart for short term. 3 days, a short term chart. This average here is touching this. I think this was the 1 hour. Yeah. So this is, I put this line here on the 1 hour. This is the most. This is the last low on this whole move up here, from this down here to up here. And so that's this line here. So on a 3-day, which is right here, this low right here on this candle, on this candlestick, the short-term average is meeting up with that. So this could be a support area, which is what, at 7,400. And then another support would be at 69, right around 6,900. And then support here, which could be a good support, another 55, because you see the longer term average, moving average here, right around 55. The long term, the average itself is around 56.23. So not too bad. Okay, I'm on the weekly now. And now it's a green candle. And that dip we just experienced is not much of a dip, is it? It's barely a dip. The moving average is now almost touching this long-term trend line here. This long trend line right here. It is touching, almost touching. So there's probably really good support. Looks like 6,900, somewhere around, very close to 6,900 right here. Other than that, I mean, there's your other typical lines that I put in, but the average on the long-term average, moving average, is now at 43.80. So, well, we're back up to 8,000. That's good. I finished my video. Let me take it out here. Let me take out some lines. Well, the price is still moving up. I don't think this news of Bitfinex is going to slow down the price at all. Even if everything about Bitfinex is true, the fact that there are so many people who have Bitcoin and they don't care whether Bitfinex is inflating Tether, because no one owns. I don't own any Tether. I own Bitcoin, and I'm using this price pure, and I'm getting a lot of money for my Bitcoin. And the fact that people are willing to pay for it at that price, I mean, and plus the premium, just goes to show that everybody else is also accepting this price to be real. So even though Bitfinex and the inflation of tethers may be the cause of the price of Bitcoin going up? Well, that's what it does. That's what Bitcoin does. There's only a limited amount of Bitcoin. Seeing an unlimited amount of tethers, and it may not even be Bitfinex. It could be some investor who are buying into Bitfinex, buying the tokens, right? They're sending money to Bitfinex, and they get Tether tokens. They're using the Tether tokens to buy Bitcoins, and then keep in mind, they buy the Bitcoins, and then they pull out of the exchange, and what are they left with? The exchanges have those tethers, right? And all the other exchanges, maybe they're sending money to get Tether to use as their exchanges. So, you know, and that's just a regular investor. And then after the investor sells their Bitcoin over the counter, right? Because having actual Bitcoin is worth more than any other token that is dollar backed or even fiat currency itself. You can see they could be trading over the counter. They're not really sending cash per se. Maybe they're putting the cash into their bank account and then sending a wire to whatever bank they're the Taiwanese bank or the trust account, whatever it is, and then hence you can repeat the cycle again. They're going to get more tethers, so they're creating more tethers that way. That's how you're ending up with all this tether. But the fact is, it is being recorded. Tethers are being bought. It's just the back end where Bitcoins are being pulled out of the exchange. They could be being sold for, you know, real money off the books, off the exchange. No one knows. And then, you know, the investor could be coming back with more fiat currency and then getting Tether. You see how the cycle goes? That's if it's just regular people who are trading. Now, it's a different story if it's somebody who is a shareholder, an owner, or has some affiliation with Bitfinex or Tether. That's a different story. Now they're. I mean, it's possible, like how I mentioned it, they could be getting a loan from the company, and it's just an IOU written within the company. All right, they show the money on their balance book as a net positive because it's a loan that the assumption that it would be paid back, and maybe it is, right. So the money's it's loaned out internally. It's an IOU. It's being sent out, and then whoever's getting this loan is buying tethers. So they don't even really get any money. They end up getting tethers. They use the tethers to buy Bitcoin off their own exchange, probably with no transaction fees. And maybe that's where spoofy is coming from. And then all of a sudden you have these tethers that are inside of Bitfinex being transferred out on the Omni network to other exchanges. And other exchanges are using, and people on the other exchanges are using that to buy Bitcoin or whatever altcoin. At some point, it's all got to come back to Bitcoin. It's all got to come back. There are just way too many tethers and not enough Bitcoin. That's the reality of it. And that's why you see the price of Bitcoin going up. You know, people are saying, well, the price doesn't reflect it, you know, the imbalance of Tether. Well, yes, it is. The price has gone up tremendously. Have you noticed that there's an increase amount of tethers? And now the price of Bitcoin has increased. Like if you look at the chart, I'm going to take out this line. If you look at this chart, the price of Bitcoin, and you look at, let me go back to Tether real quick. Just waiting for it to load. Okay, so you look at this blue. Look at this blue, this blue line. All right, that is how much Tether there are in dollar amount. Okay, so if you look at that blue line, okay, all right. If you let me scoot this on over right here so I can go back to it. So if you look at that blue line, right, and you look at the price of Bitcoin, do you see a similarity right there? Do you see the movement or the way the price looks? You mean Coinbase accounts? Oracle man, I see you have you asked me a question. You're asking me why I mentioned CoinDesk. You mean Coinbase accounts getting closed? Why? Couple of reasons. I'm assuming you mean Coinbase. Um, a couple reasons. Coinbase is heavily regulated, and they want to stay compliant. And so I'm assuming they're probably using chain analysis to find out where you're getting your Bitcoins from. And so if you send Bitcoins to your Coinbase account where you got them from a gambling site, you got them from some kind of a cloud mining site, or you got them from like a questionable ICO, a Regal ICO, a EthConnect ICO, whatever, questionable, or if you got your tokens from a questionable source, there's a good chance they're not going to let you cash out. All right. And at the time, you probably won't know it, but there's a really good chance that they're using some kind of chain analysis. And, if they're heavily compliant, heavily. Another one is if you trade peer-to-peer, like local Bitcoins, if you take coins from local Bitcoins and send it to Coinbase, they will probably shut you down. They don't like that at all. They view that as money laundering. And sometimes a lot of the coins you get when you exchange whatever source, whether you ICO or do whatever, sometimes when you trade back into Bitcoin, those Bitcoins they're kind of quote unquote, they call them tainted. They've been used on the dark web, but you don't know that because you're just buying Bitcoin, right? So when you send it to Coinbase and they do a chain analysis on where the coins came from, and it's at some point in the coin's life, they can track it back to a dark web source, a dark market source, they'll close your account. So that's the reasoning. If you do use Coinbase, you don't want your account closed. What I would recommend is you could buy your Bitcoins, but never take them out of Coinbase. You could buy it and sell it and buy it and sell it in Coinbase, and you'll probably never have your account closed because the source of the coins came from Coinbase. Why would they close your account, right? And so what if you want to maintain your account in Coinbase, this is just my experience, what I've learned is arbitrage. In other words, like for example, have some Bitcoins that you own. I mean, Coinbase also tracks where you send out coins as well. So not only receiving the coins do they do a chain analysis, the coins that you also send out, they also do a chain analysis, and they find out you're sending your Bitcoins to a gambling site or to the dark markets or to cloud mining or local Bitcoins to do peer-to-peer trading, or even to another exchange. If Coinbase doesn't like you taking their Bitcoins and sending it to another exchange, they don't like that. And so they'll close your account. So what you want to do is you want to get a source of coins that's not Coinbase at all. And if you're going to gamble, trade, whatever, you could do that. And then you can arbitrage. Essentially, this is where peer-to-peer markets help. You could trade peer-to-peer. And then when you sell your Bitcoin for a higher price, you could buy the Bitcoins on your Coinbase, right? And get more Bitcoin. So essentially, you're getting more Bitcoin. and that's how you make a Bitcoin gain. So you're arbitraging, but you never really move your coins out of Coinbase. And so when you're ready to sell your coins, your Bitcoins on Coinbase or GDAX or something like a heavily regulated exchange, you can they'll probably allow you, they'll probably cash you out. But and there's another problem is as well. They don't like cashing large amounts, or if they do cash large amounts, they're gonna ask you if you bought all those coins and you sell them on Coinbase. Obviously, they're not going to ask you where did you get the source. I mean, the source came from Coinbase, but there's liquidity issues, and then you have tax issues on your end. So you have to like handle the taxes, and that's going to be probably most likely reported to the IRS, like when you bought them and when you sold them and how much the difference. They're probably going to start reporting that. So overall, is Coinbase good? I think Coinbase is great for like newbies who are trying to get into it. But after a while, when you get into larger amounts or when you start gaining more uh, in value, it becomes an issue with Coinbase and with you and the IRS. So anyways, let me get back to this now. So if you compare the tethers and their value and the amount overall market cap of tethers, right? And if you look at that chart and you look at Bitcoin chart, there seems to be a correlation there. And so yeah, you've there is tethers bad? No, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad at all. I mean, people are buying tethers. Tethers are being used. It's just the way it's just the way it is when you start creating. I know people say tethers aren't money, but basically that's what you're doing. You're creating money out of thin air. You become a central bank, and Bitfinex has become a central bank in a way, in the fact that you can create an infinite amount of tethers, recycling your Bitcoin and your and cash into Tether or into Bitfinex, right? You could just cycle through, and they're creating tethers that physically don't go anywhere. And I don't know anybody who actually cashes out Tether. You can. I know people that buy Tether and then buy Bitcoins and then take the Bitcoins off the exchange, and they do whatever they want, and usually they use that to make more money, like make more cash, make fiat currency, and then people come back with the fiat currency, usually put it in the bank, wire the money, whatever, write a check into Bitfinex. I don't know how, but somehow, and then basically you get more tethers if that's how it's being done. Last time I checked, I couldn't get tethers. Oh, last time I tried to get tethers, there was a sign up process, but even Tether, the company itself, lost its banking. They're kind of Bitfinex and Tether are kind of tied together. But I think on a local level, you can probably buy tethers through a bank if you're in Taiwan somewhere. So in that sense, maybe money is being funneled to the Taiwan, the country, and then within Taiwan, money's being moved around to get into Bitfinex, and then you'll get your tethers. So I think there's something going on. There's definitely money being moved around. So it's kind of questionable. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode. As far as I'm concerned, the fact that the price is back above 8,000. I mean, I started the show. The price was around 78, almost 77. Let me see what the low was. The low was 770, 7,770 was the low when I, pretty much almost started the show. It was just dropping like a fly. Now the price is back above 8,000. Well, I think that's good. I'm going to end it with my John McAfee um, unicorn here. Yeah, hashtag space unicorn, everybody. Hashtag space unicorn. There is, what can I say? You can't stop Bitcoin, even with the Tether issue, even with Bitfinex out there, bringing, the issues up with Tether, and I think tethers are being created. I think there's more tethers than actual money. Okay, actual money in these exchanges. All right. I do think that there is something to it, but it can go on for a very, very long time. And not only that, those tethers are also used on many other exchanges. So it is systemic, but if you think about the damage that would cause, the risk is people are going to make a run to Bitcoin. They're going to try to use their tethers to buy as many Bitcoins, and the risk is these exchanges may run out of Bitcoin before they run out of money. Ironically, that's the crazy part about this whole situation. So, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and end and conclude this live stream. Feel free to like, dislike, leave a comment, or even do a video response, everybody. And I'd like to thank everybody in the live chat. Buy Bitcoin, dual overhead Camness, Oracle Man, Q Bro. Thanks for thanks for being in the chat. Um, let's see who else is a Fud Machine. Thanks for coming back and watching. Richie Rich. Who else? Patrick. Patrick. I don't know how to say your last name. Is it Duke? Duke Mohan? I'm sorry, Patrick. I don't know how to say your last name. Oh goodness. Ghost Money. Let's see who else is in here. 21 Million Club. Yellow Fever for you. It's me, Boss Lady. Carlos. Sorry I missed you. I didn't see you there. Tomcat. And let me see. Bitcoin B. Bitcoin B. And Ken, he was in here for a while. He's probably gone. And Crypto Kerbit. Sorry I didn't see you earlier, but you were here. Well, I hope everyone had fun and chase that coin, Flapping Plemis. And Crypto Nutter. Goodness, it was a long chat. You guys were really chatting up here. Well, all right. Anyways, thank you for all you guys for being in the chat and participating. It was fun. And yeah, hashtag 21,000 Bitcoin, 21K Bitcoin. Good idea, 21 Million Club. And that's a perfect hashtag for you, by the way. All right. Anyways, feel free to like, dislike, leave a comment after the live stream, or even do a video response. Until next time, everyone, stay tuned. Bye-bye.